Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Shan Khodar of 4th Sem pursuing Information Science in SVCE, subject Discrete Mathematics Structures. Topic on Basic Connectivities, Truth Table, Logic Equivalence. When mathematician wishes to prove the proof for a given situation, he or she must use system or logic. This is also the true when the computer scientist develops the algorithms need to form of need from a program or a system program. Logic mathematics is applied to decide whether one statement follows from or logical consequences of one or more other statements. Basic connectivities on truth tables. In developments and any mathematical theory, assertions are made in the form of the sentence. Such verbal or written assertion is called statement or assertion. Are declarative sentences that are either true or false but not both in particular instance of time. For example, the following statement we use the lowercase letter of the alphabets such as P, Q and R to represent this each sentence. P combinatorics is required course for sophomores. Sophomores. Q is Margaret Mitchell Road gone wide. R is equals to 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. In other hand, we have regard sentence such as exclamation, which has beautiful event exclamation mark, or the command get up, do your exercises. As the sentence, since they do not have true values, true or false. The preceding sentence represented by the letters Y, G, and R are considered to be the primitive sentence, for there is really no way to break them down in any simpler. New statements can be obtained from existing one in two ways. Transform a given statement P into the P which denotes its negation and reads not P. From the statement of P and not P is the statement combinatories is not required course for sophomores. Combination two or more statements are compound statements using the following logical connectivities. A conjunction. The conjunction is the statement of PQ is denoted by P uppercase PQ, which is read as P and Q. In our examples, the compound statements of P and Q is a real. Combinatories is required course for sophomores and Morgans. Mitchell wrote gone in the wind. Disjunction. Whereas the expression PVQ denotes the disjunction of the statements P and Q is the real is to read P or Q, hence the combinatories is required to course for sophomores or gone rot in the wing. Consequently P or Q is true if one or the other P and Q true or the both and statements P and Q is true. In English, some written and or to point this out. The exclusive denoted P or P and Q. The consequences P and Q is true and one of the other P and Q is true, but not both of the P and Q are true. But the other way, P or Q is an example of combinatorics which is required to sophomores. Implication. We say the P implies Q are written as P aramark of Q designated to the sentence of which is implicated by P Q by P. Alternative, we can also say that if P then Q, if sufficient condition for Q, if Q is necessary condition for P, P is sufficient for Q, Q is necessary for P, P is only if Q. The verbal translation of P aramark Q for an example of combinatorics of required for course for sophomores. The statement P is called as hypothesis, implication Q is called as conclusion. When the statements are combined in the manner, there are no need to any causal relationship between the statements for the implication to the true. Biconditional. The last biconditional statements P Q is denoted by P double R mark Q, which is read as P if and only if Q, or P is necessary and sufficient for Q. For R P Q combinatorics is required for course of sophomores. The meaning of P double R mark of Q we sometimes abbreviate as P if and only if Q, and P I double F Q. Realize that the sentence such as the number x is an integer is not a statement because of its true value. True or false cannot be determined until the numerical value is assigned for x. If x is assigned to the value of 7, the result would be the true statement. Assigning the value of such as 1 by 2, however, would takes the result statement false. To evaluate the expression, the sub-expression are that are in the brackets evaluated first, then the above precedence next. These are the tables. Truth table. A truth table is a table that specifies the truth value for a primitive or compound statement. It is a combination of row and columns in which the columns represents the individual inputs and outputs values. In its truth values, similarly rows represents a header column followed by the combination of true values, such as combination represent Boolean function. True table is composed of at least one input and at least one output. The true table has set input followed by set of outputs. In input values has only two possibilities, such as input variables represents the statement there are true or false consisting, such as true table we write 0 for false and 1 has true. A truth table totally 2n rows where n represents the total number of input values, and each row represents a function. For example of truth table, second diagram, two inputs of P and Q, there are hence 2 square is equal to 4 rows. If one variable is there, then 2 power 1, 3 variables 2 power 3, 4 variables 2 power 4, 5 variables 2 power 5, and so on. From table of 1, Boolean function of P and not P. From table 2, the Boolean function are not P and not Q, not P and Q, P and not Q, P and Q. The Boolean functions are given. The true and falsity of the negation of and different kind of compound statements of the basic truth value of their components. These are the truth value of the above given P and Q values. For implication of P to Q, the result of true is all in all cases except the P is true and Q is false. We do not want true statement lead us to believing something that is false. However, we regards the truth such as if 2 plus 3 is equals to 6 and then 2 plus 4 is equals to 7, then the statement of 2 plus 3 and 2 plus 4 are both false. Finally, the biconditional P double R Q is true that the statement P, Q have the same truth value and is false otherwise. Thank you.